Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Mom to Mom podcast. Today, we are diving into a topic that does not get talked about enough. But if you've experienced it, you definitely remember it. We are talking about prodromal labor.
Yes, the stage of labor that makes you think this is it. This is definitely it. And then suddenly it's not.
Wah, wah.
And it can feel really confusing and exhausting, and emotions are high. And honestly, it just can feel really discouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you are currently in prodromal labor or you have been through it before, or if you're pregnant and you just want to be informed, this episode is for you. We want to normalize it, explain what's happening, and give you some tools to get through it. You are listening to the Mom to Mom podcast, hosted by Stephanie Sinclair and Nikki Zwaber, partners and lead doulas here at How to Mom.
We're moms, we're professionals, and we're here to make motherhood feel a little less heavy and far more supported.
How to Mom is a community built for real life. From pregnancy and birth to postpartum and beyond, we support families through education, connection, and care. Our team of birth and postpartum doulas work with families every day while also sharing stories on our podcast and our blog to curate trusted resources for moms in the Twin Cities and beyond.
On this podcast, we talk about the real stuff, the stories that stay with you, the questions you're already asking, and the moments that feel hard, hopeful, and everything in between.
Absolutely. You will hear honest conversations, expert insight, lived experiences, and reminders that you are not doing this alone.
This is Mom to Mom. We're so glad you're here. And now, on to today's episode. Let's talk prodromal labor.
Mm-hmm.
What is it exactly?
Yeah, so let's start with the basics. Prodromal labor is a pattern of labor that can start and stop. The contractions can feel very real, very strong, intense, even rhythmic, and then they just stop.
Oh, and unlike Braxton Hicks, if you've experienced those, which are typically painless, more just tightening of the belly, prodromal labor contractions can often be felt more the like lower belly, sometimes in your back, and they can sort of be intense depending on everyone's interpretation of them.
Yep. And that's such an important distinction. Drinking water or changing positions usually will help Braxton Hicks calm down. With prodromal labor contractions, that's not usually the case.
So I think the key thing that we want you all to hear is that even though those prodromal labor contractions feel real, they usually don't follow the typical pattern of active labor. They don't consistently get longer or stronger or closer together. And they often don't cause measurable cervical change, which I think is such a tough part of prodromal labor.
One of the discouraging parts.
So discouraging. You're doing all the motions are there. It's just not the production and the progressiveness is not there.
Yeah. And that's exactly where, people will really start to feel defeated. You're contracting, you're exhausted. Maybe you've even gone into labor and delivery and you were sent home with, the information that there's been no real change.
Yeah.
That can feel incredibly crushing. But we do want to give you some glimpse of positivity. Your body is still working. Even if your cervix isn't changing in like that textbook way, your body is warming up, it's practicing, and it is still preparing.
I mean, I think we think of prodromal labor as doulas as more of the pre-labor versus false labor, because if both mom and baby are doing well, nothing is broken, and your body will shift into active labor when it's ready.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about what causes prodromal labor, because not everybody experiences it. And so it's nice to understand the why because there usually is a reason why somebody is experiencing this type of labor.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say one of the biggest factors that we see is baby's position.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes prodromal labor is your uterus being super smart and trying to move your baby in a more optimal position for birth, which is why our doulas here at How to Mom, we find it so important to be informed and trained in fetal positioning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I also would say too, during contractions, the uterus is working really hard to rotate or engage the baby. And so if it doesn't quite work, then that's when those contractions can pause or stall and then start right back up again. And so it doesn't mean, again, that nothing is happening. It's just maybe not at the consistent pace that a non-prodromal labor would be.
Yeah. And even though it can be frustrating when your uterus does stop and takes that pause, we want you to lean into that pause. Like, that's when we want you catching up on sleep and eating. There's also a reason behind that pause as well.
Right.
We're interrupting this episode to ask, are you pregnant and drowning in information?
Hospital birth, home birth, epidural, no epidural, everyone has an opinion, but yours is the one that truly matters.
That's why How to Mom created our childbirth education course.
This isn't about telling you what to choose. It's about giving you the knowledge to make decisions that feel right for you.
Led by experienced professionals, our class covers the full picture: labor, birth, comfort measures, partner support, and postpartum, without judgment, pressure, or fear.
If you want to feel informed, confident, and supported heading into your birth, this class is for you. And remember, if you're a How to Mom doula client, make sure to enter your discount code at checkout.
Head to howtomom.com to learn more information about our courses, because informed moms feel different walking into birth. And now, back to the episode.
Another possible cause for prodromal labor is pelvic or uterine alignment. Some people are simply just more prone to prodromal labor based off of like their body shape or how their pelvis is aligned.
I also think emotional is a big part of it. So emotions can play a big role of anxiety, fear, and stress in labor. Again, is just as much, if not more, mental than it is physical. So your emotions play a big part for some people that can bring on some prodromal labor.
Yeah, and oftentimes this is a really great opportunity to check in with your team, to maybe have an emotional release with your partner or with your doula. Really talk about that frustration, feel it, express it. Even though it's hard, we want you to go there. We always say hard conversations aren't bad, they're just hard.
Yeah.
And sometimes if we can get those feelings and thoughts off of our chest, we're going to be able to move past them once we've expressed them.
Yeah.
An article that we send to a lot of clients, it's a tool that we use, but it's also a beautiful article called The State of In Between that we'll link below. It really describes this season so beautifully.
Yes.
And makes some sense of those feelings and emotions that you might be in.
Yes, absolutely agreed.
Prodromal labor can be more common in people who have had more than 3 pregnancies, right? Your uterus is a muscle. It stretches and it responds differently every single time. And so sometimes that in itself can just be a reason for prodromal labor. So now that everybody kind of knows what it is, the causes behind it, what can actually help if you're experiencing prodromal labor?
Obviously, number one, support. Your support matters big time here. Having a doula and a strong support person can make the world of difference during your prodromal labor. This stage can just be super long and just really emotionally draining. Like we've been so support above everything.
Yeah, your team should be checking in on you. Another thing that can really help is staying nourished and hydrated, which is essential. Again, that uterus is a muscle. Even though it's hard to do when you're feeling tired and uncomfortable, your body needs fuel. Yes. Especially because we know active labor will be coming at some point, and we need we need that fuel for that stage as well.
We already talked about this a little bit, but those, addressing those emotional blockages. So talk it out, cry it out, journal, love a journal, release what you're holding on to. That emotional release can increase your oxytocin.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We've actually had situations with clients who have, experienced this and been really frustrated and been at what they felt like was their tipping point. We have that conversation. We ask those questions. They have that emotional release. We decide to shift the focus to distraction and kind of moving forward in their regular day-to-day life. And then usually something really magical happens. So if it does have to do with baby's position, focusing on that fetal positioning can be really helpful. Techniques like spinning babies, the mile circuit, the dip the hip, these exercises that doulas especially are more than likely trained in can really encourage your baby to move into that more optimal position. And that goes for body work as well. It can be extremely helpful in this stage that you might be in. Things like chiropractic care, acupuncture, massage, or balance work as well.
Mm-hmm. And never, never, never underestimate the power of oxytocin, aka the love hormone. Calm and comfort and confidence connection. Go snuggle, laugh at something, watch something funny, read something funny, and just feel safe. All of those things can help boost your oxytocin naturally.
Yeah, and kind of letting go of that control. And just surrendering.
Yes.
Something we talk to clients about a lot. We also strongly encourage rest. It's going to be huge, especially when you're on, this journey that is a marathon. It's not a sprint.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to find balance between gentle movement that can feel productive and helpful, but then actually sleep so that you're not completely depleted when labor actually begins.
Yeah. And this one I think could be potentially hard to hear, but distraction really can be your friend. So keep plans if you can. Go to Target, go to dinner, go grocery shopping, do all of the things that you would normally do. Watch a show, go for a walk. We usually encourage people when they're working with us to not time your prodromal labor contractions. There's just really not a big reason. It's not going to help the situation by timing those. And so distraction really is an important part.
Yeah. So this is a shorter episode, but one that I think is really important because it's not talked about enough. But even with understanding prodromal labor and even giving, tips of things to do if you find yourself in this space, we want to make this very clear. Prodromal labor is hard.
Yes.
We know that it can be so emotional. It can be so frustrating and exhausting. And your feelings around it are absolutely valid. It can be exhausting, not just for the birthing person, but also the whole family.
It also doesn't mean that your body is failing. It means your body is preparing in its very own way. And if you are in it right now, you are not alone, and this phase will pass, promise.
Yeah, absolutely. We hope that this episode gave you clarity, reassurance, and a few tools to support you if prodromal labor shows up in your journey. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen, and we will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. For show notes, links, and more information, please visit our website at howtomom.com. That's HOW2MOM.com.
And remember, whether you're a mom, a parent, or a caregiver, you are doing great. It's progress over perfection, and we're all just figuring it out together.